Hi, I'm David Essel. Why are more and more treatment centers moving away from the old 12 step method of recovery and doing brand new, invigorating activities and action steps to help people get sober? There's many great reasons. For the past 43 years as a number one best-selling author, counselor, executive coach, radio, TV host, speaker, you name it, we do it all here. We have been involved in the world of addiction. Of course, my challenges are well published. For 30 years as an alcoholic and cocaine addict, I used these drugs as a way to self-medicate the depression and anxiety that I didn't even know I had and didn't want to deal with. And it works short term. Hey, every addiction has a benefit. Short term. Long term, not worth it. But when we look at treatment centers, and I went to a treatment center a long time ago, so many of them are moving away from the 12-step model of recovery. Why? Because they're understanding what most of us in the private sector have known forever. They don't work. 12-step does not work very well at all. They have a 90% failure rate. That means they have a 10% success rate. So listen, if you're in a 12-step program and you love it and you've never relapsed and you've never cross-addicted and you're not a dry drunk, you're not a dry addict, well then stay, right? Don't ever change a thing. But with a 90% failure rate, the audience is hugely needing something new and different. Now, there's several different types of treatment centers. The most progressive ones are the ones, and you can go ahead and Google 12 treatment centers that do not use 12-step. The list is growing every day. Google it. Don't even take my word for it. Google it. Oh my God, share these videos. Comment below. Share these videos. Comment below. We need to get these messages out there in the worst way ever. Just our country, the United States, is struggling with addiction deeper than any other time in our existence. I've been in this business for 43 years. I've never seen the amount of addicts, alcoholics, people struggling in the world of addiction that I've seen since COVID. And we're not saying COVID created all of it, but it really helped. It helped create a nation full of addicts, for God's sake. So there are treatment centers that are still using 12-step, not successfully, but they're stuck in that old paradigm, that old vortex, right? Well, we know this and we don't know anything new, so let's stay with what we know. But then there's a ton of new ones that are coming out and saying, this hasn't worked forever. Those treatment centers that are keeping with that 12-step program, many of them do it because of the rebound effect. What does that mean? Is that those people that are in their centers right now are going to come back. And we have proof. We have treatment center owners that have contacted me and said, David, I was in the business for the longest period of time, and honestly, it was a great moneymaker. We would help people for their 28 days in the program, and we knew they were coming back in 3 to 6 months. Now, that's a horrendous business model, but it's one that works, right? It keeps them money coming in, it keeps the insurance companies paying them, and then there are the brilliant treatment centers who have moved away from 12-step. God, when I was in my treatment center years and years and years ago, the medical director told us within the third day I was there that only 10% of us would be sober in a year. She even said the model we're using isn't as effective as it could be. And one of the biggest problems is that when you leave here, you're not going to follow a program. And if you do what we tell you, and the only thing we can tell you to do is to go to meetings, you have a chance to stay sober. And I'm sitting there listening going, this doesn't make sense to me. I've just paid a boatload of money to come to a place that said that we have a 90% failure rate, just like the meetings you're going to go to when you leave here. You know, here's a couple things I've got to tell you. Bob Long, he's one of the first people that reached out with our new book, and I'll show you it right here. Permanent Alcohol, David Essel's Permanent Alcohol and Life Recovery, and it really is permanent addiction, including alcohol. We cover everything in our program. For 30 years we've been doing this, and we finally put it in a book. On the front cover, Bob Long was so exhausted with the constant rebound effect. People getting clean of opiate addiction, alcohol addiction, and then coming back and then going out, and it hurt his soul. He didn't want people coming back. But when you're working with models like 12-step that have been around for 80 years and never updated, they're going to come back. Bob says this about our book and program. David Essel's recovery program should be instituted with every treatment center and therapist who deals with addiction treatment, period. Now, this is a treatment center owner that's saying 12 steps doesn't make it. Let me give you another one if that's not convincing enough. Tammy Danio, owner of multiple treatment centers in Malibu, California. Couldn't believe, she said, after 10 years, David, I woke up to realize that 12 steps was not working. As a matter of fact, 12 step was just continuing to have the rebound effect. I kept seeing people come back in. I didn't want that. I wanted them healed and moving on. And then that's when she read our book and our program and said this: David is a trailblazer in recovery. And his book, this one right here, is the blueprint of the future. Now, I say that in humility. I'm not bragging about myself. These are other people talking about our program. These are treatment center owners that understand what we've understood for 30 years. 12-step is incredibly limited. Patty Palumbo on the back of the book made another quote saying, without David's one-on-one counseling, 12-step AA would never been enough. And listen, it might sound like I'm really beating up the 12-step system, and in a way I am, but I'm doing it with a bunch of love, because we've said in the book multiple times on all kinds of videos, if the 12-step organization would really get their act together and hire experts to come in and revamp the program. You can't have sponsors helping people that have no education in psychology, in behavioral science, in brain chemistry supplementation. I mean, the sponsors, bless their heart, in the 12-step program do the best they can, but they're not educated. AA needs to get their sponsors educated. They need to uplift their program. They need to drop those old statements like once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic, because it isn't true. So I am so proud of the treatment center owners, and my hat goes off to you for jumping out of line. Quit being codependent with other treatment centers and do what's right. If you need our help, we're here to help you. Or create your own program, for gosh sake, that doesn't have to include 12-step, because we need a hell of a lot better than a 10% success rate to call a program a good one to go to in recovery. Hey, this is good news because we're changing. Go ahead and Google all the treatment centers that are non-12-step. You'll see that list growing every day. If we can help you, below will be the website. It's all about helping people heal. That's all we care about, and we're gonna make it happen. And that's good news with David Essel.